Okay, so Jai Jagannath, here we are, and we are discussing a verse from Bhagavata Purana, Canto 2, Chapter 6, Text 36, that,
37.
37, okay, let me get the nice forest. So, there is no names, okay. 37, okay. But, okay, there is a number of verses here that are dealing with the same point. So,
Yeah, I think 36, 37 might be interchange. I
yeah,
don't know
they're
if.
all, yes. So
But yeah,
the
the.
Sanskrit is nāhaṁ na yūyaṁ yad-ṛtāṁ gatiṁ vidur na vāmadevaḥ utāpare surāḥ tan-māyayā mohita-buddhayas idaṁ vinirmitaṁ cātma-samaṁ vicakṣmahe. Okay, so vicakṣmahe is coming from the root chakshu, means eyes. So it means to observe by one's eyes. Okay, so it's not about understanding, realizing, perceiving, being aware of. It means to see with one's eyes. Vicakṣmahe. We are able to see with our eyes. Nāhaṁ, neither I, na yūyaṁ, nor all of you. Yad-ṛtāṁ gatiṁ vidur. We all, no one of us, me or you, all my sons, are actually know the actual movements, the actions, the activities, the truth of the activities of whom? Yat, of that, which means, Param Brahman. Vāmadevaḥ utāpare. Okay, now, Vāmadevaḥ. I am not sure, because my knowledge of Sanskrit is not so so good. Vāmadevaḥ says here that it is a name of Shiva. Okay. We see. Okay. Utāpare surāḥ. What to speak of the other surā? Okay. Sura is also a word that doesn't mean demigods. Demigods are technically, if you go to the definition of the dictionary, demigods are particularly powerful jivatmas, beings who were born from the sexual union of a human being with a more powerful entity than a human being, that is usually called a god with a small g by the mainstream academic system. Now, the mainstream academic system that has been developed by Abrahamic ideologies, established by Abrahamic ideologies, and carried on still today, mostly by post-Abrahamic ideologies, such as, Marxist ideology, so-called secular ideologies, and whatever. So these versions, including the colonial ideologies, have a weird idea about the gods with a small g. They would never call their own god a god with a small g. So demigods, technically speaking, in Hinduism, the only demigods in Hinduism are, for example, Bhishma and the 5 Pandavas. Mainly, the most famous ones. Because Bhishmadeva was son of Santanu and Ganga, and the 5 Pandavas were sons of Kunti and Madri, plus the various devas. Now, I wrote an article on the use of the word demigod, because I think it's very important. Now, Prabhupada, who normally used the definition demigods, was educated in a Scottish college, a typical, Christian mission school. But at least he spoke of the vision as a supreme personality of Godhead, meaning that the Godhead has many personalities, which is better than what ISKCON is saying today, that only Krishna is God and everybody, all the others, are just demigods, which is, kind of offensive. Anyway, so the Sura, are not even the Devas only. Sura is all those who have divine qualities. Mainly, chiefly the Devas. So, Sura means both Devas and people who are situated at the same level of Devas. Then, tan-māyayā, mohita-buddhayas. This means that the intelligence of everyone, the understanding of everyone, is confused, moha, confusion, illusion. But tan-māyayā, by the Supreme Brahman's Maya, which could be both, as we have said several times, could be either Mahamaya or Yogamaya. It's always Maya. So, and it said, tu idaṁ vinirmitaṁ cātma-samaṁ vicakṣmahe. We are able to understand by our own ability, our own, faculties, our level of understanding. Vinirmitaṁ. Okay, idaṁ vinirmitaṁ. The translation here given by Prabhupada, what has been created. So it could be both, any manifestation of the Parama Brahman, including the avatars. I am not saying that the avatars are material, but Krishna in Gita clearly says, tadatmanam srijami aham. I create, I manifest myself. So it is not offensive to say that in this particular verse we are observing the manifestations of the Parama Brahman that could be either or both spiritual and material and spiritual. So the translation here that Prabhupada gave, now you're looking at the Gita Press, but I don't know it. I don't have it. And also it's
Okay, I just pinged you a similar translation which I found on some other website. You can refer to this also. I think this is what similar what they have mentioned in Hindi.
Yeah.
You can just check in the chat box.
The chat box. How will I see the chat box if I'm okay? if I have the the forest. You have to tell me, instead of putting in the chat box.
Okay, yeah.
You have
Okay,
to
okay. I'll just
stop
read it
the.
out.
Yeah. Okay.
It
Neither.
says, yeah.
Let me see, because also, my eyesight is getting worse with age, so I also have to go. Neither I nor you nor God, Shiva or Vāmadevaḥ. So here they're making a distinction between Shiva and Vāmadevaḥ, and who is a Vāmadevaḥ. Okay. Could understand his real nature. Okay, his real nature, I like that. How can other celestial beings? Okay, okay, surāḥ.
So my question is, here
Yeah,
it says that like nobody can understand the
yeah,
real nature of Parabrahman. So when we
yes.
say of the moksha or the
Yeah.
realization, when we say, so we can only touch some part of it, right? Complete knowledge we can never have. Is it
Oh,
so? Is it
definitely,
something?
definitely it is true. Of course it is true.
Okay.
Definitely, I like this translation here, the Gita Press, better than ISKCON. Uh, but it's a little, not much different. Not much different. Yeah, of course, I think that here a key word is according to our capacity of knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I think this is a key word
Uh-huh.
because it is, it leaves a lot of space. And the universe created by Maya. Again, I think that both Prabhupada and Gita Press consider Maya just to be the material illusion. While, me personally, I have a broader vision that Maya is also Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya, Mahamaya, I know that without Shakti, without the Mother Goddess, the power of Shakti, there can be no form, material or spiritual. There can be no spiritual worlds, dimensions, no manifestation. Either spiritual manifestation or material manifestation. This is my particular perspective. Now, I think that the Gita Press and Prabhupada, ISKCON, are a bit patriarchal, because they're influenced by Abrahamic culture. So they don't have, adequate appreciation for the Mother Goddess, for Shakti. But, okay, the translation is not wrong. I would say it's not complete. It's not open to various levels of understanding. You know that all the Shastra have different levels of understanding. Like for example, it's famous this, the explanation that Krishna Chaitanya gave about the Atma verse. So many different levels. The Atma verse. Atmaramas Chamunayo Nirgranta Purukame. Kurvante Aitukim Bhaktim Itam Bhuta Gunohari. There are so many levels of meaning in this verse. And I think here in this verse as well, I think Brahma is perfectly competent to give verses that have various, several levels, layers of meaning, levels of meaning. But to go back to your original question, definitely there is one big fact is that God is unlimited by definition. So there is no limit. In order to understand, to comprehend something, that thing needs to have some limits. You know, the word comprehend, you know, means to take within, right? The etymology, you know, of the word comprehend means to take, you know, within, you know, to take within ourselves. How can you take within ourselves something that has no limits, that is in constant expansion, that, you know, it's infinite? It's not possible. So this is a big point. Second point, it's also, as I said before, it depends on the different capacity of knowledge. Of course, Shiva has a much greater capacity of knowledge about the Parama Karuna, because Shiva is actually Vishnu in the material world. So it's not, you know, it's only slightly less than Vishnu. So it's a greatest authority on the Parama. Now let me see who is this Vāmadevaḥ that is Vāmadevaḥ mantra. Let's see. Associated with Vinirmitaṁ. Okay. But Vāmadevaḥ, yeah, is one of the forms of Shiva. But it's also one of the names of Vishnu that is installed on the on the abdomen when the Vaishnavas, especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas, apply the tilak, right? So I find here the Brahman of Parashiva on the internet splits into male Shiva and female Parashakti and manifests in the universe. Then so the Shiva comes with the 5 faces. So Dyojata Tatpurusha Vāmadevaḥ Ishana Aghora and Adhamukha. So Vāmadevaḥ is described as the north aspect that sustains manifest Brahman. Associated with Vishnu, represents air of the vital life force. So, you know, we can see that it's not that simple. You know, it's not just, okay, a demigod. You know, what we mean by demigod, you know, demigod is a very limited person. Historical is not an ontological archetype like the devas are. Like, you know, Agni is not limited by time, space, or individuality. Agni is everywhere. You know, in your stomach, it's Jataragni. It's whenever you light your chula, you know, Agni is there. You know, whenever, if 1 million people perform the Homa, you know, in their house all around the planet, Agni will be there. So this is not a demigod. You know, it's not someone who is limited by individuality or time or space. You know, and so are the main devas, such as Indra, Vayu. Now, there are different levels of devas. They're not all the devas are on the same level. But the second offense to the chanting of the holy names has been grossly mistranslated by saying that it is offensive to put the names of the devas on this, such as Shiva, on the same level with the names of Vishnu, while in fact the Sanskrit verse of the Parama Purana said it is offensive to separate the names of Shiva and the other personalities of Godhead from the name of Vishnu. So, we understand that is like, just the opposite. So, I don't know if this helps.
Yeah. Yeah, like my question, this I think concept of demigod and all we already discussed earlier multiple times. My question was this on this knowledge, this cannot be complete anytime. It's always
it cannot be complete.
You can only just
time.
touch.
Yeah, it cannot be complete any time, even by Vishnu himself.
Yeah, that is the previous verse. It says previous verse is that he himself cannot know.
Exactly. So it's not that the demigods are stupid. It's that it's not possible to completely, really, totally understand, because it's constantly expanding. So I think this is difficult for people to conceive, to imagine, because most people are in a very materialistic perception of life. So when they ask again, I still remember this very weird question that among the other stupid questions sometimes I'm getting on Quora, in a fight between Vishnu and Voldemort, who will win? It's like, okay, how many ways of wrong this question is, it's so many ways of wrong that it requires a long article. But it is a fact that we are not required to comprehend everything about God. A drop of a molecule of water cannot comprehend the ocean. But because we are of the same substance, we can relax. We are home. When we are God conscious, and ISKCON will say Krishna conscious, which is Vishnu conscious, God conscious, whatever you want to call it. We are home. We are already in God. We don't need to get frantic about, what will happen? I'm not conscious of God. But Yoga Maya and Mahamaya are magical. Maya means illusion in the sense of magic. It's not illusion in the sense of ignorance. It's illusion in the sense of, the play of manifestations that look like something, but they're something else. And there's nothing wrong there. There's nothing wrong. Like, if you have read my book about the life of Krishna Chaitanya, or if you have read the Chaitanya Bhagavata, you will see the episode when Chaitanya goes, I think, in the house of Chandrasekhara in Navadvip, and they have this, dramatic performance, drama performance, and Chaitanya is worshipping Mahamaya and praying to Mahamaya. and saying that we are praying to get the blessings of Mahamaya so that we can engage in the service. We can, be liberated from ignorance. This idea that, Maya is a witch, it's not a witch. Maya is a fairy. It's not a witch. Fairy, it's like a fairy godmother, in the story, the fairy tales in the West, That's not something bad. We cannot hate Maya. We cannot fight against Maya. We cannot declare war on Maya because we will become pancakes. We'll be flattened out, and we see, the demonstration. So many people have shown that, that they try to declare war on Maya, and then, a couple of months later, they're exposed for, abuse of children and this and that. What kind of war on Maya they have won? It's like, okay, that as they say in the United States, cruising for a bruising. We need to follow the example of Chaitanya. We shouldn't think that we are better than Krishna Chaitanya, or we are better than the gopis. Gopis were worshipping Katyayani, which is Durga, which is Maya. So, what? Are we better than Krishna and the gopis and Krishna Chaitanya? We're better than anyone because we are going to win in the war against Maya, the witch. Yeah, okay. Have a look around and see how it goes. These things are, I feel them deeply and passionately because it's a disaster. Instead of helping people to progress spiritually, these people who think that, they increase their ahankara and mamattva enormously, so they are actually confusing people and, pushing people into bad karma and, the lower gunas, the ignorance of bodily identification and all that. So I think it's, a serious subject. Of course, there is not everybody is like that. Not everyone is like that. But
one thing is that when somebody is saying that waging war against Maya and all, that is also influenced by Maya only, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Krishna in Gita says, Daivihe sagunamai mama maya duratyaya. Mame mamye prapadyante. Mayame tam tarantite. To go beyond the illusion, we should have just to, take shelter in God. We don't have to wage war ourselves against Maya. That's stupid. It's like an ant waging war against a train engine. What kind of war are you going to wage? The train engine doesn't even notice that you were squashed. So this is the point. The more they think aham mama, ahankara mamattva, the more they are bound up, hands and feet and everything, by Mahamaya. So it's much better to be a bit humble, to recognize that this is Daivi, Daivi, Maya. It's a Maya of God. It's a Parama Karuna. So we should you should make our pranam very humbly and pray for blessings from everyone. What to speak of the greatest Vaishnavas or the divine energy of God. It's if we think we don't need those blessings, we are not in a good place. But it is a fact that we cannot, like Krishna says in Gita, it's very difficult to meditate for those who are attached to the non-manifested. So we need to meditate on the manifestations. So manifestation means the Virat Rupa that Krishna is showing Arjuna, when Arjuna is asking, how should we meditate on God? And Krishna is showing the Virat Rupa. So that is a material manifestation. Or the spiritual manifestation, that is the intimate lila, that we contemplate through the sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, raganuga bhakti, through bhakti. So they are both Maya. So the only way we can actually meditate on Krishna is through Maya. Interestingly enough. Because either we meditate on the manifestation of the universe, like Krishna says in Gita, or we meditate on the leelas that are manifested by Yoga Maya. The rasas and the leela manifested by Yoga Maya. So there's no other way. Gatiranya nasti eva gatiranyata. There's no other way. Even the mantra, the name.
When we talk of Yoga Maya,
yes,
is Radharani extension of Yoga Maya or Yoga Maya is extension of Radha? How?
Wonderful. Yes. You see, I liked what Prabhupada once said, that in the spiritual world there is never less, there is always more. When you describe a personality of God that appears to be more powerful or more attractive or whatever, you should always use positive, concepts. Not saying that another personality of God is less powerful, because it's not how the spiritual world works. So Radharani is the manifestation of Yoga Maya that is most intimate. That is a pure bhakti without any trace of selfishness. It's a most intense rasa, bhakti rasa. Bhava. Bhava means feeling. Rasa means sentiment. So rasa and bhava practically, are very closely connected. So, but Yoga Maya, what is Yoga Maya? Yoga Maya is the illusion that Krishna is just a coward boy. He's just a gopa. He's just the son of Nanda, the son of Yashoda. That is Yoga Maya. So we see that Radharani is also subject to Yoga Maya. Or at least she appears to be. And what she is showing, what she's manifesting, is what we are supposed to understand. We are not supposed to understand something that she's not showing. Okay, so when Radha is expressing her sentiment of love and attraction, or all the other leelas that Radha is manifesting with Krishna, we understand that it is the internal energy. Internal energy, but still is a form of Yoga Maya. It's a most internal, most intimate form of Yoga Maya. So who came before? The egg or the chicken? It's difficult to say because there is no time. There is no limit of time. It eternally exists. And this is also another big piece of contention because generally everybody knows that Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu. Even Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. But for ISKCON, Vishnu is an avatar of Krishna, which is actually not confirmed anywhere. So in the same way, in Puri, people say that Krishna, Jagannath is the avatari from whom all the avatars manifest. So, and some in Saraswata Gaudiya Vaishnavism, they say that Krishna is avatari. So, all the avatars come from Krishna. But it's not real much point in all these discussions because what's the difference? The only reason why there is this kind of controversy is the Abrahamic influence that says that you can only worship the real, true, supreme God. All the other gods are useless, are false, are inferior at least. I remember once in 2006, I think, 2004, I don't remember exactly when, there was this big conference in Hyderabad. I was invited, RSS and ISKCON were organizing this conference, and the title of the congress was the Global Dharma for the Third Millennium, which was extremely, attractive as a title for a conference. So, on that occasion I met Sudarshanji, who was at that time the top gun in the RSS. And we were discussing, and he was totally shocked, and he said, you know what, these ISKCON people say that if someone worships Shiva, they will go to hell. And I have seen people, stupid people, openly showing disrespect to Shiva and to Mother Goddess, because they think that by showing disrespect to them, they are, winning cookie points of loyalty and allegiance to Krishna. I remember I was helping with the Prabhupada Centennial Office in ISKCON Bhuvaneshwar, and I was working in the office with Bhakta Rupa, who was the legate, the delegate of the GBC for ISKCON there, and I remember I was coming. A long story. My personal relationship with Shiva, especially with Lingaraj in Bhuvaneshwar, is very deep, very strong. So even after those experiences, I was very attached to Shiva. So, I was going in the morning, while going to the office, I was stopping at some, small Shiva temple. I purchased some sweets and offered them to the temple, and then I got them back, most of them at least, as prasad. So, I carried that prasad to the office, and I had my breakfast with this Shiva prasad. So, and Dr. Rupa saw me eating these sweets, and he said, oh, yeah, what are you eating? I said, some Mahaprasad. Oh, really? Oh, give me some. And he was all respectful, Then he started to eat, and then he asked me, whose Mahaprasad is this? And I said, Mahadev. He spat it out and throw it in the garbage. You know? So if Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava, what kind of aparad is that? You know? So, and another one, you know, Tripurari, Swami. You know, I had an encounter with him over the internet because one of my friends had become his disciple. So, you know, he introduced me, we had discussing, so this Tripurari guy, which is funny because Tripurari is the name of Shiva. So he got the name of Shiva by his guru, you know. And this Tripurari Swami guy came out and said, oh, but, you know, I am more elevated than Shiva because I am a pure devotee guru in the Parakiya Madhurya Ras. And Shiva is just a Jnana Mishra Bhakta in Sakya Ras. You know, I demolished them. I was so annoyed, you know. What kind of mentality these people have? You understand? You know, they're not going any good place. So this is why, you know, after much meditation, I decided not to use the term demigod anymore because it's confusing, it's misleading people, and it's actually downright offensive. Celestial beings, yeah, in this Gita press translation, it's not bad because it's not applying, it's not saying the other demigods like Shiva. You know, it's saying not Shiva, Vāmadevaḥ can fully comprehend what to speak of the devas, of the surāḥ. You know. But still, surā again doesn't mean demigod. I don't know if I've been clear on this subject.
Yeah.
Maybe too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, we love
So
every
when
word.
we talk of self-realization, it is just like we are just touching it, right?
Yes.
Nobody can comprehend and nobody can understand. It's just by touching only we are through. We are done.
Listen, you know,
Or
it is Vishnu, Brahman, Supreme Brahman is also called Adhokshaja and Achintya. So we can only realize, we can only have the darshan, we can only have the prakash, the direct perception, the direct manifestation of God. And that, even that, we can only have it according to our capacity of understanding. You know, so if we have a teacup, our teacup will be full, will be filled. If we have a big bucket, our big bucket will be filled. But, you know, the point is being filled. It's not how much water you can carry. You see the point.
yeah, but is it that after that point also, like you can make your teacup to bucket? Like,
Yes,
is there any further realization? Like after
yes.
one, you can go grow.
Yes. It is
Okay.
definitely possible. But you know, when we are perfectly happy, why should we go for more? Because it's not if we go for more we are better. You understand?
Okay.
So,
No,
like,
but in a way, when we say that, like Jnanis aspire for bhakti, right? So
yes.
that in Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, he equated like when that moksha sukh is like hell. So because in comparison,
It says that Kaivalya Narakayate. Kaivalya is like hell compared to bhakti. But what is kaivalya? Kaivalya means non-difference, non-distinction. It doesn't mean moksha. Kaivalya means the Brahma Jyoti, the position in which we are just anuatma inside the Brahma Jyotis. We have a certain amount of bliss, but that bliss is still not complete because we are anu, we are atoms. We don't have a fully developed siddha deha. You see, so this kaivalya narakayate means that that situation is hellish because you cannot engage actively in the relationship. You know, you're just in the santaras. Now, the santaras is already good compared to conditioned souls, you know, who people who have not attained moksha, who are still identified with material body. Moksha means being free from material identification. You know, being free from ahankara and mamatva. That is moksha. But without attaining moksha, you cannot really access the true devotional service. Krishna is saying that at the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, Brahma bhuta prasannatmana suchati na kankshati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. Means, first you have to come to moksha and to the Brahman level, and then you obtain the bhakti. Whatever bhakti you can have before moksha is just a reflection. You know, it's not real bhakti because you still project your limitations on God. So you have a very prakrita sahaja bhakti, which is okay. It's not offensive. You know, if you are sincere, you are humble. Even a prakrita sahaja, you know, is a good guy. Is a good person. You know, it's like, oh, Krishna, nice baby Krishna, and, you know, with the little gopis, with the little cows and playing the flute. Yeah, you know, that is totally prakrita sahaja because Krishna is not just that. You understand? You know, but without moksha, we are still conditioned by material identification. And we cannot really comprehend God. We cannot comprehend the Atman. How can we comprehend the Brahman? You know, and without comprehending the Brahman, how can we comprehend the Paramatma? Without comprehending the Paramatma, how we can comprehend Bhagavan? You know, if we don't comprehend Bhagavan, then we'll ask the questions like, you know, Vishnu and Voldemort. We think that Vishnu is a, you know, and who is the eldest of the sisters? You know, if Lakshmi is elder, then is old, is a senior sister of Kali. You know, what? You know, like what? What are you talking about? They think it's like their family, you know, but not in a Yoga Maya sense, in a Mahamaya sense. You know, they totally underestimate, and not for, you know, out of love and devotion. You know, it's out of material projection. So this Kaivalya Narakayate is Kaivalya is a non-active position, you know, of a very small child, or, you know, non-developed child that it's not really, yeah, I can be happy because mother is taking care, but it's a totally different happiness from actually being old enough to understand what mother and father feel and want, and be able to offer a good service to them, having a good relationship, a complete, deep and vast relationship by which you can feel that you're doing something for them. You see the difference? It's Kaivalya in the description of Rupa Goswami is like being locked up in a golden cage. You get your food, you get your water, you get this, the cage is cleaned, and and everything is nice. There's no reason why you shouldn't be happy, but it's still a cage. You are free from material limitations, but you're not free from spiritual limitations because you're not developed. That is why in the Bhakti and Tantra we find the concept of Siddha Deha. It's a complete, developed spiritual body that has nothing to do with your material body. Because it's just the rasa, it's just the sentiment, the feeling, the relationship with God. It has nothing to do with your birth, body. So I don't know. Is that clear?
Yes.
Thanks. These are very difficult topics because they go so beyond logic and material experience. So yeah, it's difficult to explain. But as much as you have experienced, your spiritual, consciousness, you are able to understand because you have you had some direct perception, so you can recognize, you can make some sense of what I'm saying. Otherwise, if someone never had any experience, they cannot. It's very difficult to understand. Anyway, it's It's a very interesting question. It's a very good text from the Bhagavata Purana. Nice. Thanks. Okay, so anything else?
Thank you. No, I think good for today.
Okay, so thank you very much for participating. I will put the discussion on YouTube. Anyone can also ask questions, and participating also to the meetings will give a little more diversity of participation. The list of characters in the play will be larger. Okay, thank you again. Jai Jagannath.